Hi, Zizaran here with a 3.18 video talking about the patch notes, like a little TLDR, and just the overall thoughts and first impressions, but in a more condensed video. We do have the raw reactions all uploaded on YouTube too, if you want to see the hottest reactions. I had sort of high expectations, because the last league, best league I've ever played, right? I played a large amount, very enjoyable, go in with high expectations, and it started off very badly. My first impressions when I saw Sentinel, I was like, well, this seems like my kind of league. Like, it's really convoluted, but it's like, and I'm sitting here like, this is really convoluted. Like, it's a bit of a win-win for me because I really like convoluted mechanics, but I know the majority hate it. But I don't think the league matters that much. So we'll talk about the league later. Overall, honestly, a 9 out of 10. For me, I honestly think this is the only announcement that could have got me a 10 out of 10. I normally try to be a little bit reserved, like 7 or 8. Last league was amazing, and it's basically like they doubled down on everything. I love this league. So overall, this is the biggest commitment they've ever made to the PoE endgame. They said not only are they doing Uber bosses, which I didn't think they were going to do at all. I thought there was literally zero chance in hell we were getting Uber bosses this league. So extremely excited on that. Honestly, that alone is enough to shoot me to the moon. Like, they're doubling down in the endgame, Uber endgame bosses, and they said they were going to expand the endgame every patch as opposed to every year, which I could not ask for more. I had no idea they were even thinking about something like this. So for me, so fucking happy. They're doing Uber Maven, Uber Elder, Uber Elder, and stuff like that. Uber Awakener. So cool for the events I make, like Gauntlet, and just extremely exciting. And they are doing another boss kill race, which I'm conflicted about, but very excited mostly. So that's very cool. And just the fact that the game itself is in such a good state. And they doubled down on that too. They added loads of cool Atlas Keystone. They were giving so much autonomy, or what's a great word? Agency. They're giving so much player agency to us, where we can change so much, and we can even sell league mechanics now to gain a bigger chance for others to happen. And there's just so much customization on the Atlas tree now, and the Atlas tree was already in such a good spot. And honestly, for the most part, they improved on that. The only thing that's sad, in my opinion, is that the adjacent map strategy is completely dumpstered, because instead of it being adjacent map when you kill the boss, it's put the random monster in the map. I don't know if they're going to have an alert when this is triggered, or if you're gonna, how are you gonna know whether it was a random map drop or the triggered one? And also, it's from a random monster. I never full clear. Like, at least if it was in the first 50% or first 70%, but like, oh. And then the keystones to enable the Uber bosses, and like really customized. You want like less HP on monsters, you want more HP on monsters. Loads of cool things like that. Very sad about the boss rush strategy, because I really like things like the Mephisto farming in Diablo 2, and this was very similar to that, and what I like there. The Uber buses are supposed to be giga hard, and the race is for that, so I'm very excited for that. And yeah, like I said, they're wanting to add endgame in every league rather than every year. So huge change for me. Every favorite expansion for me before has been when they've done endgame changes, right? That's all the ones that I've played the most. That's all the ones that have peaked for me have been when they've added new bosses. So like whenever Cyrus and the Conquerors were added, and that always ends up being the most exciting for me. So right now, this is like fucking Christmas. I could not care less about whether Sentinel is good or dog shit. It doesn't even matter to me, because we're getting so much endgame stuff that looks insane. I honestly am thinking about playing Trade League this league. I did try Trade League less than a year ago, I think, and there just wasn't that much endgame stuff. There wasn't that much of a reason to play, and I really didn't enjoy it. But now there's so much endgame stuff, so more exciting. Now there's going to be like a new chase every league, new boss changes, new rewards, level 5 in power, bosses designed by players. Really cool. Steel Mages was probably my favorite. Between that and the Sapphire Ring that Darky made with the reverse chill, but also like the damage reduction based on chill effect. Very cool idea. Very nicely balanced that it's not by any chill effect, because then Necro would be OP with the AoE chill effect that you can make so insane. And the Steel Mage unique being basically travel through keystones on the skill tree, just so insanely cool. So a lot of great stuff. And yeah, level 5 Empower and Enlighten and Enhance. What will it do at level 5? Because you gotta remember, every level 5 Awaken support does something special. Will this do something different at level 4 and level 5? Like maybe it's +2 instead. So it's like, you know, +6 to gems or +5. Instead of just being one more. There are loads of monster mod changes. Old mods are gone, replaced by Arch Nemesis. So hardcore might be super deadly. Very worried about that and how it's gonna feel. Honestly, like I've been having quite few rips recently, like 4 or 5 per league, but now we might be back up to like 8 or 9. I think the most I've ever had in the league was like 12, maybe in Metamorph, where I played 1,300 hours. So it'll be very different. Headhunter obviously gets a most likely a nerf. You can only take one mod at the same time too. So we really don't know what's gonna happen. Obviously, there's still Soul Leader and things like that because there are Arch Nemesis monsters that have that. But pretty worried about how Headhunter's going to feel now. That being said, we can talk more about Sentinel as well. Somebody pointed out that the league mechanic looks like a uterus. So, and we're breeding. They used the word breeding robots. And it looks like a uterus. So now I just think of it as Uterus League. And I can't unsee it. And I just want you guys to suffer with me. But that was pretty funny. It does look a little convoluted, but honestly, league mechanics are always hard to know whether you're gonna like them or hate them. I pretty much always get it wrong. It does look super convoluted. Hopefully it'll be better in practice. I don't have any strong feelings about Sentinel. Like I said, I love convoluted mechanics. It's whatever. Like the rest of the league is just in such a good state. So much cool stuff. Like the game is just the best it's ever been. And they didn't really take away from that this league. So I think that's just a cool direction for them. It seems like they're just focusing on like, okay, let's make sure people have fun and focus on fun. I know a lot of people are disappointed with no balance changes, but because of all the new endgame stuff, I think that's completely okay. And there will be quite a lot of changes just based on new items and things like that too. I wonder if they're going to change the rarity of things like Omniscience. But either way, honestly, just an absolutely very interesting league, I think. I definitely don't mind when there's not that many balance changes 2 leagues in a row. But if there was a 3rd league in a row, I think that would be too bad. I really wouldn't mind if they only did major balance changes every 2 weeks, personally. I think it's okay that builds survive 2 weeks and you get to like really play around. And it probably makes it easier for them to focus on different things. I think the meta is in a really good state right now. I think the top builds are very equal with one exception. Detonate Dead is completely, absolutely, under no circumstance okay. And I honestly think it's borderline insanity that they not only didn't fix the bug on Spectres, but they are basically buffing Detonate Dead. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in 3.17, they equalized Spectre health, making all of them the same and basically like, you know, they were not going to be insane HP anymore. Well, they missed 2. And for maps now, it's immortal. Because added a new Atlas Keystone passive skill. This is only for maps, not for bossing, but it's still a very big part is how quickly you can gear and how fast you can do things. Which grants monsters in your maps deals 25% less damage, but monsters in your maps have 50% more life. So you're getting a better version of Fortify for free. Because you're now taking 25% less damage, and monsters in your maps have 50% more life, has 0 impact on DD. They already confirmed it affects your Desecrate as well. So you're not dealing any less damage, right? Like, obviously, the monsters you're killing get 50% more life too, but so does your damage. So it just equalizes itself. So for DD, this just grants monsters in your maps deal 25% less damage. Nothing else. There's no other choice for the race. You are... in the past races, there's actually been like the last league, we've never seen such diversity. It's been awesome. There's a really good spread of explosive arrow, righteous fire, saboteur builds with trappers like seismic and DD, and explosive arrow on 2 different builds, and some chieftain builds. So it's been really good diverse. Like top 10 was like 5 different builds or 6 different builds. It was really good for people that really care about diversity. I don't always care the most about diversity, but now that I feel it's going to be 90%, I don't think we're ever going to have seen anything like this. And we've already decided we are banning Detonate Dead or any corpse explosion skill from the gauntlet. Because this is a bugged thing that I cannot believe they're not fixing. Their justification was that bugs that end up nerfing skills when fixed is still a nerf, so they don't want to fix it. I guess in one way it's kind of interesting, right? We're going to see everybody in the exact same race car for a race. So in that way, it'll be interesting. But I know a lot of people hate when all the racers are playing the same build. We don't have a choice, by the way, at all. There's no build that even comes close to competing. Either way, I'm very excited for the boss heal race. And honestly, the DD thing is the only thing that was like not exciting for me. Like I said, I'm kind of whatever about the league mechanic. I am like more on the excited side about that, but the game is just in such a cool state. I'm just very excited. Excited to make loads of new content. Going to be redoing a lot of the guides and improving them where we can, and also making new guides of builds that we learned were really powerful. Thanks for watching. Sub if you liked the video. More importantly, try to die less than I do.